Hey y'all, so you're looking to move to Athens, Georgia, and you want to know if this is going to be the place for you. Well, I'm going to give you 5 pros and 3 cons on what I think is one of the best towns in the entire state of Georgia. And hopefully this information will let you know if this is going to be the right place for you to end up. I'm Winston Gibbs with the Living in Northeast Georgia channel, and I'm here to tell you all about the lifestyle, the culture, the real estate, and anything you need to know about living in Athens or Northeast Georgia, from Atlanta, from the east side of Atlanta, all the way up to the Georgia-South Carolina line and what's in between. So let's jump into the pros and cons of why Athens is a great place to live. Well, we got to start with one of the most obvious things that people think about when Athens comes to mind, and that is it is a college town. That's a pro for sure, and it's all about perspective. You know, this town has about 120,000 people full-time with over 50,000 college students, not only from the University of Georgia, but also we have 3 other schools in town with Athens Tech, Piedmont University, and the University of North Georgia. There's so many resources at hand because of these university options. The universities provide a ton of jobs, which help contribute to the economy, and then it also helps create a lot of diversity within the community. The University of Georgia is central to the culture of Athens, as campuses woven throughout the entire city. You know, the relationship between Athens and the university has not always been the best, but I know that they're working tirelessly to coexist so that we can make this town better. Some of the pros that come with that are the opportunities that the universities present. Again, there's sporting events that you can go to. For business owners, you can utilize those resources with interns, with marketing, with production. There's so many different ways to utilize the services that the university has. They even have a world-renowned veterinary school. If your puppy or your kitty or maybe one of your exotic animals gets sick, you can go over there. Again, the resources and the benefit of the university are numerous. Now, the con of being a college town is that you have to deal with the college students. As many may remember back to their college days or their young professional lives, sometimes there were some shenanigans that we got involved in. But when you get around that and you get around this town, you're going to know the places to probably avoid or the times to avoid it. And when the big events come, that's just going to be the expectation, and knowing when and where to go at the right times is going to be crucial to not making that a hassle and something to overcome. One of the interesting things about this being a college town is the schedule of the college students. You know, they're mostly in class from August until the end of April, early May. In May, June, and July, I wouldn't say it becomes a ghost town, but it does provide opportunities to maybe go venture off to some places that you may not normally get to if you do plan on avoiding the college students. Overall, the benefit of having these colleges and universities is a huge plus, and this city wouldn't be what it is without those institutions in place. Now, the second pro to Athens is the vibrant economy and the low cost of living. From a study a few years back, it showed that the average cost of living in Athens was 3% lower than the national average. And I can see the difference even when I take an hour-and-a-half trip to Atlanta, just going out to dinner or maybe for some local entertainment, fun entertainment. The cost is significantly less than such a big city. It really does have a small town vibe with the benefits of having a lot of attractions. You know, speaking of cost of living, when we look at real estate prices, the average or the median home price in Athens is under $400,000. So that really makes it a beneficial town for young couples or first-time home buyers, or even if you're wanting to downsize in your retirement years, you have those options to find affordable housing as long as you're patient through the process, and you can wait and get what you want. It also, with all the students that we referenced earlier, it makes it a really good place for investors to see return. You can either have options of buying something and fixing it up and renting it out to students or young professionals. You can buy a property and flip it, or you can buy something that is already ready, move in ready, and you're always going to have that constant turnover in this town from the real estate side. Now, one of the other things about this vibrant economy is that from a study done a couple years back, our unemployment rate in Athens, Clarke County is under 3%, which is much better than the national average. From a Milliken study about 2 years ago, Athens was a top 10 small town to live in because of all the options that it provides. Some of the things that lead to such a vibrant economy is the university. We also have unbelievable healthcare systems with St. Mary's and Piedmont Regional, which I discussed in another video. Those two businesses alone, with the university and the healthcare, provide a ton of jobs for the region and can allow money to go back into this economy. Now, there are also big businesses coming to Athens. It has become a great resource and place for big business, plants and manufacturers to come around, and in the area surrounding Athens, which has a little bit more usable, constructible building land to grow this town. And the community is really working on becoming a much more business-friendly environment. Part of the other thing with it being business-friendly is the ability to start up a small business. I know tons of boutiques, locally owned restaurants, startups, and ways to get it going and create opportunity in this town. And with the constant turnover and all the attractions, it does make it very, very attractive to come to this area. Now, in contrast to the vibrant economy, which is going to be our second con, is that Athens Clarke County, even though it is one of the largest population areas and we have a low employment, is that we are also the poorest county in the entire state. So you wouldn't think that that type of unemployment rate and the vibrant economy would lead to that type of poverty, but it is something that we face in the town. One of the things that comes with poverty is you're going to have some rougher areas, and that's where you need to do your due diligence and study and find out if you're going to be in the right location, because with poverty will come homelessness and crime. There are plenty of places to research the crime rates in different areas, and you can see for yourself, get a trusted advisor to take you around town and show you what would be a good area to invest in. So even for that part of something that may not be super appealing, I think that the low cost of living and all the options for business and a thriving economy definitely overcome that hurdle that Athens presents. For our third pro for this great town, you cannot talk Athens without talking about the food scene. You see, there is a little bit of everything in all parts of the community. I think it was 2018, Southern Living named Athens the best food town in the South. And we're not only talking good Southern cooking, the classic buffet or barbecue, but all the other options that are presented. I know that there's farm-to-table restaurants, there are English pubs, there's Mexican food, there's Thai food, there's Italian. There's so many different options for eating. I know that there are multiple chefs who have been on Food Network who now have restaurants in this town. So you can have high-end steak and seafood. You also have all the normal chains that come along with it, but the local businesses are my absolute favorite. You could eat something different every day and absolutely love and have great meals at an affordable cost. Some of my favorites in town are Kelly's Jamaican. It's Southern food with a twist, a little spicy. I would stay away from the jerk chicken if spicy isn't your thing. The Last Resort has been featured on ESPN during their game day editions. The Royal Peasant downtown is an English pub during soccer season. It is thriving. It is popping. There's some new restaurants, Zizi and Simone's downtown. There's all kinds of great places. Another one of my favorites is Calientitos. It is a Asian Mexican cuisine that's kind of infused, but the food is great. One of the other cool things with the food scene is, I consider it all in one, is the bar and restaurant scene, or the bar scene, or the nightlife scene. You see, in the downtown Athens, within a square mile, there are over 100 bars that you can jump into, go grab a drink. You can have great views from the high bar. You can go to Sea Bear and have a nice afternoon or evening wine with some oysters, or if you want to, you can go mingle with the college kids. But 5 Points, Normaltown, downtown, the west side has plenty of options for somewhere to go grab a cocktail to celebrate the end of the week, or maybe some other momentous occasion in your life. The food, the drinks are wonderful in this town. The fourth pro for Athens is the enormous amount of entertainment opportunities. They're honestly endless. If sports is your thing, then we have all the university has to offer. You know, there is the basketball and the football, baseball, softball. Then they have a lot of other smaller ones that are not like the mainstream sports, like golf and equestrian and tennis. There's a vast amount of Olympians that have come from the swim team. So if you want to go enjoy sports with your own, or with kids, or with friends, go do that. Gym Dogs are also amazing. Stegman Coliseum is legendary. Sanford Stadium's great. The sports also relate to other options. There's tons of golf courses that are nearby. Pickleball is growing. The parks are amazing. The rec department does a really good job of putting different leagues together through different areas, whether it's cornhole or softball, pickleball. There's tons of opportunities to go enjoy sports or participate in sports yourself. Another part of entertainment, which I consider, is the arts. There are tons of places to express yourself or go see the beauty with which people have created. Again, the college town provides great minds that are coming up, but the history of art that's come through this town, and the murals and the paintings, are endless. The State Botanical Gardens are here, which I consider a horticulture art. The Georgia Museum of Art has constant rotating exhibits that is on the university campus for people to go enjoy. Art is massive in this town. And then the last part, which is one of the arts, would be the music scene. The music scene is historical in Athens. The main spot until recently has been the Georgia Theater. The Georgia Theater has seen acts like Widespread Panic, the B-52s, REM, members of Little Big Town come through there, and a lot of the thriving artists in the country music era, or even in the rap and rock area, have come and performed at the Georgia Theater. Now, with the arena at the Classic Center, you're going to be able to see some bigger acts, as we have that Athens Ford Arena, which will seat over 8,000 people for events like that. A really cool thing about the music scene in Athens is not only those two big ones, but you got all these little spots where people are trying to make their name. So you may never know when you walk into a place like the 40 Watt or another little joint that has some live music playing, that if this person is going to be the next big thing. It is truly amazing. And even when you walk downtown, they have a really cool display where there are pics, kind of like the Hollywood stars that are around the downtown area, with different artists that have played or come out of this Athens area. It truly is special, the amount of artists and what you can get for this town. The last one that I forgot to include is with the Classic Center. I already mentioned the arena, but they have their Broadway series, they have their ballets, and the Classic Center has tons of events that are constantly flowing through, where you can go and have entertainment or go to galas or different banquets. The Classic Center is a true gift to this community, and it is just another one of the many entertainment options that this town provides. Now for your third and final con of the town, and maybe not one of the best features that we have to offer, is honestly a lack of public transportation. For such a densely populated area, you would think that there would be more public transit, but honestly, the bus systems are not that smooth in operating. I know I see them out there, but if you want to get from one side of town to the other, you're going to have to take multiple buses, multiple routes to get where you want to go. You really do need a car to get around effectively. Now, some of the places in this county and in this town, like 5 Points, downtown, or Normaltown, are walkable and rideable. There are plenty of restaurants, parks, and different areas for entertainment where you can get to easily and walk to. But if you're on more of the outskirts of town, you're definitely gonna need a vehicle to get there, because wouldn't necessarily trust the bus system through Athens. We don't have any trains or MARTAs. It's not quite that big to need that. The other option is to take some rideshare services. There are Ubers and Lyfts all over the place in town. You can get one fairly easily at any time of day. If you're trying to get to the Atlanta area, they do have Groom bus services which run like 20 times a day back and forth to the airport. And we still have taxis that run around town if you'd rather go that route. But ideally, you're going to need, like I said again, you're going to need a car to get from one place to the other because of the lack of public transportation. Now, the fifth and final pro that makes Athens an unbelievable spot is its central location to everything. Now, you can find everything you need in this town, as we've already discussed. There's so many reasons to be here. But if you are planning on getting outside of the city for, some experience or entertainment, you have plenty of options that are within a short drive. Obviously, Atlanta is an hour to an hour and a half away if you need to get to the airport, or you're going to a big event, a big game or big concert, or you want the big shopping that Atlanta offers, even though Athens does have very nice boutiques and a lot of the major chains here, but it's only an hour and a half away. If you're into hiking or you're into mountain biking and you want to see some of that fall foliage that I mentioned earlier, the North Georgia mountains are only about an hour to an hour and a half, and you can have a nice, quick, quaint, private getaway and enjoy what the North Georgia mountains have with just a little drive. The other thing, when the summer months start heating up and you want to cool down, there's a couple different rivers within 30 minutes where tubing and floating down the river is an option for friends and family. You also have Lake Lanier, which is an hour away. You have Lake Hartwell, which is an hour away. And you have Lake Oconee, which is an hour away, which are all great options to cool down and enjoy a weekend such as Memorial Day or 4th of July and just go let loose on the water. Then the last two, which are a little bit of a stretch, are we do have access to beaches. You can be at a beach like Charleston in about 4 hours. You can be in Jacksonville area towards Daytona and some of those in about 5.5 hours. You even have the Golden Isles on the coast of Georgia, which are only about 3.5 to 4 hours away. So you can really get a little bit of everything. You get fun in the sun, lay down in the sand, and enjoy those vacations without having to drive 10 plus hours as maybe some other regions of the country offer. In contrast to the warmth, you can also get to North Carolina and enjoy what North Carolina has to offer with some of the East Coast skiing such as Sugar Mountain or Beach Mountain within about 4 hours. So really, the central location of Athens, although it does have everything we need, you can get to anything relatively quickly. You can do day trips for some of these. Some of them might be an overnight trip, but it really is super easy to get out with the highways that give us easy access to those places. Now, I'm going to throw one more bonus pro in that is great for not only Athens, Northeast Georgia, but the entire state, is that we have great weather for the majority of the year. There's a joke that there's actually 12 seasons in Georgia, but we truly do have 4 distinct seasons. You have a winter, a spring, a summer, and a fall. Now, the wintertime, it will get a little bit chilly. We have some low nights occasionally. We've just come off of a really cold front, and we also got a little bit of snow. You'll see that occasionally in this area. Up a little bit farther north by the mountains, you will get more snow around the base of the Appalachian. When you come into the spring and you fight the pollen and have to wash your car all the time, but it is amazing those temperatures as we start to warm up. You see the trees start to come alive. You get the smell of that fresh cut grass. You hear the birds chirping, and you can really get out and start enjoying it. Now, the summertime can get a little bit muggy. I'm not going to lie to you, but for having such wonderful weather for the large majority of the year, that's one of the things you have to deal with. But there are options to get out, whether it's pools, rivers, or lakes, to enjoy yourself and cool down after a long day of work or a long week of work. And then for most people, the fall is their favorite time of year. Not only football, but you get all those festivities with perfect temperatures where you can get out and you can walk and you can bike and you can hike, you can carve pumpkins, you can do all the things that people love doing in the fall because of the 4 distinct seasons and the very nice climate that Georgia has. If you can't tell, I'm very passionate about Georgia. I love it. I think Athens is God's country, and overall, there are so many more pros than a couple of cons that may have you questioning whether or not this city is the one for you. Like I said, so many great things, and there are more things that I did not list that make this a great place. And if you want to learn more about living here and the culture and the experiences and the real estate, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications so I can keep you updated on all that. And if you have questions about other things, feel free to email me or call me and we can talk through it. And I want to be your guide for this area because I'm passionate about it, been here my whole life, and I love it. And I hope you love it just as much as I do. See y'all soon.